Did you know that money conflicts are among the leading causes of divorce in America? According to a 2024 Fidelity Couples and Money study, 45% of partners argue about money at least occasionally, and 1 in 4 couples identify money as their greatest relationship challenge. These aren't just minor disagreements, they're relationship-threatening conflicts that can destroy even the strongest bonds. Welcome to the Grow Financially channel. I'm thrilled you joined me today for this important conversation. Before we dive in, take a moment to subscribe to this channel if you want more practical financial advice that can transform your relationship with money and your partner. Hit that subscribe button now. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to prevent financial disagreements from undermining your relationship. By the end of this video, you'll have practical strategies to communicate about money effectively, understand your partner's financial perspective, and build wealth together, all while strengthening your relationship instead of weakening it. Let's start by understanding why money causes so many problems for couples. Financial conflicts tend to be proxies for deeper issues in our relationships. When we argue about money, we're often really arguing about values, trust, control, security, and freedom. Money touches every aspect of our lives, making it a particularly volatile topic. The first step to preventing money conflicts is understanding your money personalities. Similar to how we have different personality types in general life, we also have distinct money personalities that influence how we interact with finances. Ramit Sethi, a well-known financial expert, breaks down 4 distinct money personalities that capture how most Americans handle their finances. Understanding these types can help you identify your own approach to money as well as your partner's. Let's explore these money personalities. In more detail, the spender. If you're a spender, you likely derive joy and satisfaction from purchasing experiences and things. You might value the present moment more than future planning. Spenders often see money as a tool for enjoyment and living life to the fullest. The saver. Savers find security and comfort in accumulating money. If you're a saver, you probably feel anxious about spending and prefer to have substantial emergency funds. Savers tend to be more future-oriented and risk-averse. The investor. Investors are focused on growing their money. If this is your personality type, you're likely comfortable with some level of risk for the potential of greater returns. You see money as a tool for building wealth and achieving financial independence. The avoider. Avoiders tend to neglect financial matters altogether. If you're an avoider, you might find money conversations stressful or boring, and you may not have a clear picture of your financial situation. Most couples include partners with different money personalities, which can lead to friction. A spender. Married to a saver might feel constantly criticized for their purchases, while the saver feels anxious about the lack of financial security. Understanding that these differences aren't signs of character flaws but simply different approaches to money can reduce judgment and increase empathy. Take a moment now to reflect. Which money personality best describes you? Which one describes your partner? Recognizing these differences is the first step toward better financial communication. Now that we understand money personalities, let's look at the common financial conflicts couples face. Research shows several recurring themes in couples' money. Arguments. Different spending priorities. When one partner values experiences like travel while the other prioritizes material possessions or saving, conflict is almost inevitable. Debt management. Couples often disagree about how aggressively to pay down debt versus spending on current needs or saving for the future. Risk tolerance. One partner might prefer conservative investments, while the other wants to pursue higher risk, higher reward opportunities. Financial goals. Disagreements about major purchases, retirement timing, or lifestyle choices are common sources of conflict. Financial secrecy. Hidden purchases, secret accounts, or undisclosed debt can severely damage trust in a relationship. Family financial support. Couples often disagree about how much financial support to provide to extended family members. Let's examine how these conflicts typically manifest in relationships. Consider this scenario. Sarah is a saver who grew up in a household where money was tight. She values financial security above all else. and feels anxious when account balances drop below what she considers safe levels. Her partner, Mike, is a spender who grew up in a more financially stable environment. He believes in enjoying life now and doesn't worry much about the future. When they receive extra money, like a tax refund or bonus, Sarah automatically wants to put it toward their emergency fund or retirement accounts. Mike, however, sees it as an opportunity to take a vacation or upgrade their home. Neither approach is inherently wrong, but without proper communication and compromise, this difference can lead to resentment and recurring arguments. Here's another common scenario. One partner comes into the relationship with significant student, loan, or credit card debt. The other partner, who has been financially cautious, must decide how involved they want to be in helping pay off that debt. This situation raises questions about fairness, responsibility, and shared financial futures. What makes these conflicts particularly challenging is that they often trigger deep emotional responses. Money isn't just about numbers. It's tied to our sense of security, freedom, identity, and even self-worth. When we disagree about money, these core emotional needs can feel threatened. This brings us to one of the most destructive financial behaviors in relationships: financial infidelity. Financial infidelity occurs when one partner deliberately hides financial information from the other. This can include secret spending, hidden debt, undisclosed accounts, or lying about income. Signs of financial infidelity include excessive spending on gifts, trips, or gambling with unexplained withdrawals from joint accounts, hidden purchases, or missing financial statements. Defensiveness when discussing money, getting cash back from purchases without disclosing it. New credit cards or accounts you didn't know about, missing mail or exclusively digital statements. The impact of financial infidelity can be devastating. In a Harris poll, 76% of Americans believed financial infidelity is as serious as or worse than physical infidelity. It damages trust, the foundation of any healthy relationship, and can lead to divorce if not addressed. Now that we understand the problems couples face with money, let's move toward solutions. The foundation of healthy financial relationships is open, honest, and regular communication. This doesn't come naturally to most couples, especially when they have different money personalities or financial backgrounds. In the next section, we'll explore specific communication strategies that can transform your financial conversations from arguments into productive planning sessions. We'll look at how to create a safe space for money talks, the right questions to ask each other, and how to approach financial discussions with empathy rather than judgment. Remember, understanding your different money personalities and common sources of conflict is just the beginning. With the right communication tools and financial systems, you can turn your different approaches to money from a source of conflict into a strength that helps you build wealth together. Let's now dive into effective communication strategies for couples. Money conversations can be challenging, but with the right approach, they can strengthen rather than strain your relationship. First, create a regular money date. Set aside time monthly to discuss finances without distractions. This shouldn't be when you're already stressed about bills or after a financial mistake. Choose a neutral time when both partners are relaxed and can focus. During these money dates, follow these guidelines. Start with appreciation. Begin by acknowledging something your partner did well financially. Maybe they packed lunch instead of eating out, found a great deal, or contributed to your savings goal. Starting positively sets a constructive tone. Use I statements instead of you accusations. Instead of saying, "You always spend too much on eating out," try, "I feel worried when our restaurant spending exceeds our budget because it makes me concerned about reaching our savings goals." Focus on goals, not just problems. Discussions about shared dreams and aspirations are more motivating than just talking about budget constraints. Frame conversations around what you're working toward together. Practice active listening. When your partner is speaking, really listen instead of formulating your response. Repeat back what you heard to ensure understanding. "So what I'm hearing is that you feel anxious when we don't have at least $10,000 in our emergency fund. Is that right?" Avoid blame and shame. Financial mistakes happen. Focus on solutions rather than dwelling on past errors. Shame doesn't motivate positive change. It typically leads to defensiveness or secrecy. Take breaks when needed. If conversations become heated, agree to take a 20-minute break before continuing. This allows emotions to settle so you can return to rational discussion. According to financial experts, couples who successfully navigate money issues often use these exact communication strategies. They recognize that financial discussions aren't just about dollars and cents, but about values, dreams, and fears. Now let's talk about setting financial goals as a couple. Shared goals create alignment and purpose, reducing conflicts about day-to-day spending decisions. Start by dreaming together without limits. Ask each other, if money were no object, what would you want our life to look like in 5, 10, or 20 years? What experiences do you want to have in your lifetime? What kind of retirement do you envision? What does financial security mean to you? After this dreaming phase, categorize your goals into short-term, under 1 year, medium-term, 1 to 5 years, and long-term, over 5 years. Include both individual and shared goals. Short-term goals might include building a $1,000 emergency fund, paying off a specific credit card, taking a weekend getaway. Medium-term goals could be saving for a home down payment, replacing a vehicle, taking an international vacation. Long-term goals often include retiring at a specific age, paying for children's education, buying a vacation property. With goals identified, prioritize them together. You likely can't pursue all goals simultaneously, so agree on which are most important right now. This prioritization prevents conflicts when you need to decide where to allocate extra funds. Next, create goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. SMART. Instead of save for retirement, your goal might be contribute $12,000 to our private pension this year. With clear goals established, you need financial systems to achieve them. This brings us to the topic of how couples should manage their money together. There are 3 common approaches. Completely separate finances. Each partner maintains individual accounts and is responsible for specific bills. This approach offers independence but can make working toward joint goals more challenging. Completely joint finances. All income goes into shared accounts, and all expenses come from these accounts. This approach provides transparency and unity, but may cause friction over individual spending. Hybrid approach. Couples maintain both individual and joint accounts. They contribute agreed-upon amounts to joint accounts for shared expenses and goals, while keeping some money separate for personal use. Research indicates that the hybrid approach works best for many couples. It provides both transparency for shared goals and personal autonomy for individual spending. If you choose the hybrid approach, consider these accounts. Joint checking for regular household expenses. Joint savings for shared goals and emergencies. Individual checking accounts for personal spending. Joint or separate investment accounts for long-term goals. For the hybrid system to work, you need to agree on how much each partner contributes to joint accounts. There are several ways to approach this. Equal dollar amounts. Each partner contributes the same amount regardless of income differences. Proportional to income. If one partner earns 70% of the household income, they contribute 70% of the funds. For joint expenses, equal percentage of income. Each partner contributes the same percentage of their income, such as 80% of each paycheck going to joint accounts. When deciding which approach is fairest, consider your specific situation, income, disparity, and shared values. There's no universally right answer. What matters is that both partners feel the system is equitable. Let's address a common concern: how to handle significantly different incomes. When one partner earns substantially more than the other, it too can create power imbalances if not managed carefully. First, recognize that financial contribution isn't the only value brought to a partnership. Caring for children, managing the household, emotional support, and other non-financial contributions are equally important to the relationship's success. For practical management, the proportional approach often works well when incomes differ significantly. The higher-earning partner contributes more financially, but both partners have equal say in financial decisions. Some couples with large income disparities find it helpful to ensure each partner has the same amount of personal spending money. This prevents the lower-earning partner from feeling constrained, while the higher-earning partner enjoys more luxuries. Open communication becomes even more critical with income disparities. Regular check-ins ensure neither partner feels resentment about the financial arrangement. Another challenge couples face is merging finances when one or both partners bring debt into the relationship. This situation requires careful handling to prevent resentment and ensure fair progress toward shared goals. Start by being completely transparent about all debt, amount, interest rates, minimum payments, and payoff timeframes. Then decide together whether to consider the debt individual or shared responsibility. Many couples choose one of these approaches. The partner who incurred the debt is solely responsible for paying it off. Both partners contribute to paying off all debt, regardless of who incurred it. The debt remains individual responsibility, but the couple adjusts joint contributions to allow the indebted partner to pay off their loans faster. Whatever approach you choose, create a concrete plan for debt repayment and regularly track progress together. Once you've established your communication, strategy, set goals, and created financial systems, you need tools to track your progress. Many couples use budgeting apps designed for partnerships, such as Honeydew. Allows couples to see all accounts in one place and chat about specific transactions. Zeta. Designed specifically for couples with both joint and separate accounts. YNAB. You Need a Budget. Offers a collaborative approach to budgeting with shared goals. These tools provide transparency while respecting the level of financial integration you've chosen as a couple. Creating a budget together is an essential step for financial harmony. Start by tracking all income and expenses for at least a month to establish a baseline. Then categorize expenses as fixed, rent, loan payments, or variable, dining out, entertainment. Next, decide together how much to allocate to each category based on your priorities and goals. Make sure to include savings as a non-negotiable expense. A popular budgeting framework is the 50-30-20 rule. 50% of after-tax income goes to needs: housing, food, transportation, minimum debt payments. 30% goes to wants: dining out, entertainment, hobbies. 20% goes to savings and additional debt payments. You can adjust these percentages based on your specific goals and values. For example, if retiring early is important to you both, you might allocate 30% to savings and 20% to wants. Remember that budgeting isn't just a one-time activity. Review your budget during monthly money dates, adjusting as needed based on changing circumstances and progress toward goals. In the next section, we'll explore wealth-building strategies for couples, including investment approaches, handling financial emergencies together, and planning for major life transitions. We'll also discuss how to navigate financial disagreements when they inevitably arise, even with the best systems in place. Now that we've established communication strategies and financial systems, let's focus on building wealth together as a couple. This is where your partnership can become a powerful advantage in achieving financial success. One of the biggest benefits of managing finances as a couple is the ability to specialize based on interests and strengths. Perhaps one partner enjoys researching investments, while the other excels at finding ways to save on daily expenses. By leveraging these complementary strengths, you can achieve more together than either of you could alone. The first step in building wealth together is maximizing household income. As a couple, you have several advantages here. Dual incomes. When both partners work, you can potentially live on one income and save or invest the other, accelerating wealth creation. Career support. Partners can support each other through education, career changes, or starting businesses, opportunities that might be too risky for someone without a financial support system. Tax advantages. Married couples filing jointly often benefit from more favorable tax brackets and deductions compared to single filers. To maximize these advantages, consider creating a career investment fund that either partner can use for education, certifications, or starting a business. View these expenses not as costs, but as investments in your joint financial future. For couples where one partner earns significantly more, Discuss whether it makes financial sense for the lower-earning partner to pursue additional education or career advancement. Sometimes investing in the lower-earning partner's career potential yields the highest return for the household. The next wealth-building step is optimizing your saving and spending. As a couple, you benefit from economies of scale. Sharing housing, utilities, groceries, and other expenses often cost less than if you lived separately. This creates an opportunity to save more than you could as individuals. To maximize this advantage, regularly audit your fixed expenses as a couple. Can you reduce housing costs by moving? Can you share a vehicle instead of having two? Can you get better rates on insurance by combining policies? Challenge each other to find creative ways to reduce expenses without sacrificing quality of life. Make it a game rather than a restriction. Automate savings at the beginning of the month, not the end. Pay yourselves first by automatically transferring a predetermined amount to savings or investment accounts when you receive income. With your saving and spending optimized, the next step is investing together. This is where many couples struggle because investment approaches often reflect risk tolerance, which frequently differs between partners. Start by educating yourselves together. Take online courses, read books, or consult with a financial advisor as a couple. Having a shared understanding of investment principles helps bridge knowledge gaps and reduces anxiety for the less financially confident partner. When creating your investment strategy, consider diversification. Spread investments across different asset classes, stocks, bonds, real estate to reduce risk. Time horizon. Align investments with when you'll need the money. Longer time horizons generally allow for higher risk, higher return investments. Tax efficiency. Utilize tax-advantaged accounts like 401ks, IRAs, and HSAs to reduce tax burden. Automation. Set up automatic investments to ensure consistency regardless of market conditions. For couples with different risk tolerances, consider a barbell strategy. Place a portion of your investments in very conservative options to satisfy the more risk-averse partner, and another portion in higher-risk investments to satisfy the partner comfortable with more volatility. The middle portion can be in moderate risk, investments you both agree on. Remember, investing together doesn't mean you must agree on every decision. Sometimes the best approach is to give each partner authority over different aspects of your investment portfolio. Real estate often plays a significant role in couples' wealth-building strategies. Whether it's your primary residence or investment properties, real estate purchases represent major financial decisions that require alignment between partners. When considering real estate, thoroughly discuss your housing priorities before shopping. Create a list of must-haves versus nice-to-haves to guide your search. Agree on a maximum budget and stick to it, even if you qualify for larger loans. Consider the long-term implications. Will this home accommodate future family changes? How does it align with career plans and location preferences? For investment properties, clearly define roles and responsibilities in managing the property. Beyond traditional investments, many couples build wealth through entrepreneurship. Starting a business together can be rewarding but also risky for your relationship. If you're considering this path, clearly define roles based on skills and interests rather than gender or earning power. Establish boundaries between work and personal life. Create a written agreement about how business decisions will be made, especially when you disagree. Discuss exit strategies before starting. What happens if one partner wants to leave the business? Whether through employment, investing, or entrepreneurship, building wealth takes time and consistent effort. As a couple, you need to support each other through this journey, celebrating milestones along the way. Let's shift our focus to handling financial emergencies together. Even the best financial plans encounter unexpected challenges: job loss, medical expenses, home repairs, or family emergencies. How couples navigate these situations often determines their long-term financial success and relationship satisfaction. The foundation of emergency preparedness is your emergency fund. Most financial experts recommend couples have 3 to 6 months of essential expenses saved in a readily accessible account. If you have variable income, are self-employed, or have dependents, you might aim for 6 to 12 months of expenses. Beyond the emergency fund, discuss your contingency plans. If one partner loses their job, what expenses would you immediately cut? How long could you maintain your current lifestyle? Do you have adequate insurance coverage? Review health, disability, life, auto, and homeowners or renters insurance policies together. What credit resources could you access in a true emergency? While not ideal, knowing your options provides peace of mind. Who in your personal network could provide support, not necessarily financial, during challenging times? Having these conversations when you're not in crisis mode allows for clearer thinking and better decision-making. When financial emergencies do occur, they test your communication skills and financial systems. Follow these guidelines. Face the situation together as a team, not as opponents. The problem is external, not your partner. Review your full financial picture before making decisions. Prioritize needs over wants until the emergency passes. Communicate with creditors early if you anticipate payment difficulties. Check in with each other emotionally, not just financially. Financial stress affects mental health and relationship satisfaction. After navigating an emergency, take time to reflect on what you learned and how you might prepare differently in the future. As your wealth grows, estate planning becomes increasingly important. While many couples avoid this topic due to its association with mortality, proper estate planning ensures your assets are protected and distributed according to your wishes. At minimum, every couple should have wills, documents specifying how your assets will be distributed and who will care for dependent children. Durable power of attorney allows your partner to make financial decisions if you're incapacitated. Healthcare directives specifies your medical care preferences if you cannot communicate them yourself. Beneficiary designations ensures financial accounts and insurance. Policies pass directly to intended recipients. For couples with substantial assets or complex family situations, like blended families, consider establishing trusts to provide more control over asset distribution and potentially reduce estate taxes. Review these documents at least every 5 years or after major life events like having children, moving to a different state, or experiencing significant wealth changes. Finally, let's discuss how to balance individual financial autonomy with partnership. While managing money together, it's important that both partners maintain some financial independence and personal agency. The 3-account system works well for many couples. Joint account for household expenses and shared goals, individual account for partner A's personal spending, individual account for partner B's personal spending. With this system, agree on how much goes into each account and what expenses each account covers. For example, you might decide that clothing, hobbies, and gifts for each other come from individual accounts, while housing, food, and vacations come from the joint account. Another approach to balancing autonomy with partnership is setting a discussion threshold. Purchases below a certain amount, perhaps 100 or 100 or 500, depending on your budget, don't require consultation, while larger purchases are discussed together before proceeding. Whatever system you choose, regularly check whether both partners feel it's working. Financial arrangements should evolve as your relationship, income, and goals change over time. In the next section, we'll explore how to handle significant life transitions together, like having children, career changes, relocating, or caring for aging parents. We'll also dive deeper into resolving financial conflicts when they arise despite your best prevention efforts. Let's now explore how couples can navigate major life transitions that impact finances. Throughout your relationship, you'll likely experience several significant changes that require financial adjustment and renewed alignment. Having children is often the first major financial transition couples face. The U.S. Department of Agriculture estimates that raising a child to age 18 costs approximately $233,610 for a middle-income family, not including college expenses. This financial reality requires careful planning. Before having children, discuss: how will your income change? Will one partner reduce work hours or take time off for childcare? What new expenses will you face? Consider healthcare, childcare, education, food, clothing, and activities. How will your saving and investing priorities shift? Many couples redirect retirement savings toward education funds, requiring a rebalanced approach. What insurance changes do you need? Life insurance becomes more critical when children depend on your income. How will you teach your children about money? Aligning on financial education prevents mixed messages. Create a new parent budget that accounts for both one-time expenses, nursery furniture, car seat, stroller, and ongoing costs, diapers, childcare, healthcare. Implement this budget before the child arrives to adjust to the new spending pattern and potentially save the difference. Another significant transition is career changes. Whether it's a job loss, promotion, career pivot, or retirement, changes in employment affect both income and identity within the relationship. For voluntary career changes, consider the short-term financial impact versus long-term potential. How to build a financial cushion before making the change. Non-monetary benefits like improved satisfaction or work-life balance. The effect on retirement contributions and healthcare coverage. Frame these discussions as joint decisions about family priorities rather than individual choices. This approach recognizes that career decisions affect both partners, even when only one person's employment changes. For involuntary job loss, have a predetermined plan that includes immediate budget adjustments, timeline for tapping emergency funds, healthcare, coverage alternatives, job search support strategies, emotional support expectations. Housing transitions also require careful financial coordination. Whether buying your first home, upgrading, downsizing, or relocating for work, housing decisions have enormous financial implications. Before making housing changes, calculate all costs beyond the mortgage or rent: taxes, insurance, maintenance, utilities, commuting. Discuss location priorities, proximity to work, schools, family. Consider future needs, not just current situation. Agree on how much to spend on renovations or furnishings. For relocations, calculate the full financial picture, including cost of living differences, potential income changes, moving expenses, and property value implications. Sometimes a higher salary in a new location actually represents a lower standard of living when all factors are considered. Caring for aging parents presents another financial challenge many couples face. This responsibility can create significant financial and emotional strain if not approached thoughtfully. Have proactive conversations about each partner's expectations regarding financial support for parents. Boundaries around housing parents in your home. How caregiving responsibilities might affect careers and income, legal and financial documents needed, power of attorney, healthcare directives. These discussions are particularly important in cross-cultural relationships, where expectations regarding elder care may differ significantly based on cultural background. Now let's address retirement planning as a couple. Even for younger couples, aligning on long-term retirement goals prevents conflicts and disappointment later. Start by envisioning retirement together. At what age do you each want to retire? Where do you want to live? What activities or travel do you want to include? Do you plan to work part-time or volunteer? From this shared vision, work backward to determine your total retirement savings target, annual saving requirements to reach that target, asset allocation strategy based on time horizon, catch-up strategies. If you're behind on savings, remember that retirement planning isn't just about numbers, it's about lifestyle preferences and values. One partner might prioritize early retirement with a modest lifestyle, while the other prefers working longer to fund more luxurious retirement activities. Finding compromise requires understanding each other's core needs and fears around aging and financial security. For couples approaching retirement, discuss how spending patterns will change, whether to downsize or relocate, plans for Social Security, claiming healthcare coverage before Medicare eligibility, legacy plans for children or charitable causes. Let's now focus on resolving financial conflicts when they arise, despite your preventive efforts. Even couples with excellent communication and systems occasionally disagree about money. The difference between financially successful couples and others isn't the absence of conflict, but how they handle it. When you reach an impasse on a financial decision, try these strategies. The 10-10-10 rule. How will this decision affect us? In 10 days, 10 months, and 10 years? This perspective often reveals whether the issue deserves the emotional energy you're investing in it. Pilot projects. If you disagree about a financial approach, try one partner's preference for a limited time with clear evaluation criteria. For example, we'll try your budgeting app for 3 months and assess whether it's working for both of us. Third-party perspective. Sometimes bringing in an objective third party helps. This could be a financial advisor, counselor, or even a financially savvy friend who understands both perspectives. Trade-off negotiations. Look for creative compromises where each partner gets something important to them. If we prioritize paying off the student loans this year as you want, can we take the vacation I've been hoping for next year? Values clarification. Often, financial disagreements stem from unclear or misaligned values. Revisit what matters most to each of you and why certain financial decisions feel important. For particularly challenging conflicts, consider financial therapy, a specialized field that addresses the psychological, emotional, and behavioral aspects of money. Financial therapists help couples understand the deeper meanings they attach to money and develop healthier patterns of financial interaction. Some couples find that regular meetings with a financial advisor provide both expertise and a structured environment for discussing money matters. A good advisor acts not just as an investment manager, but as a financial coach who helps align your financial decisions with your shared values and goals. Now let's discuss a challenging but important topic: financial infidelity recovery. If financial infidelity has occurred in your relationship, rebuilding trust requires intentional effort from both partners. For the partner who concealed financial information, disclose everything, partial truths, prolong the damage, take responsibility. Without defensiveness, seek to understand the impact on your partner. Develop and share a concrete plan to change behavior. Accept that rebuilding trust takes time for the partner who was deceived. Decide whether you can work toward forgiveness, express your feelings without shame or blame. Participate in creating accountability systems. Be clear about what you need to rebuild trust. Consider professional help if you're struggling to move forward. Many couples emerge stronger after addressing financial infidelity because the recovery process forces them to develop better communication skills and financial systems. In the next section, we'll explore advanced wealth-building strategies for couples who have mastered the basics. We'll also discuss raising financially responsible children and planning your financial legacy together. Let's explore advanced wealth-building strategies for couples who have mastered the basics. Once you've established emergency funds, eliminated high-interest debt, and maximized retirement contributions, you can pursue more sophisticated approaches to accelerate wealth creation. Tax optimization becomes increasingly important as your income and assets grow. As a couple, you have several tax strategies available. Income splitting. If you own a business together, you can potentially distribute income between partners to minimize your overall tax burden. Strategic charitable giving. Donor-advised funds and charitable trust can provide immediate tax benefits while supporting causes you both value. Tax loss harvesting. Systematically selling investments that have declined in value to offset capital gains, reducing your tax liability. Asset location optimization. Placing tax-inefficient investments in tax-advantaged accounts and tax-efficient investments in taxable accounts. For these strategies, consider working with a tax professional who specializes in your situation. The tax code is complex, and the potential savings from professional advice often far exceed the cost. Another advanced strategy is diversifying income streams. While traditional employment provides stability, building multiple income sources creates both wealth and security. Consider developing passive income through rental properties or dividend-paying investment side businesses that leverage your skills and interests. Royalty income from intellectual property, affiliate or advertising, revenue from content creation. The key is selecting opportunities that align with your skills and interests. One partner might excel at real estate investments while the other develops an online business. Both contribute to your financial goals while playing to individual strengths. For couples with substantial assets, estate planning becomes more complex. Beyond basic wills and powers of attorney, consider revocable living trust to avoid probate and provide privacy, irrevocable trust for asset protection or tax advantages, family limited partnerships for business succession, charitable remainder trusts that provide income while supporting causes you value. These strategies involve complex legal structures, so work with an estate planning attorney experienced in high net worth planning. Let's now address a critical topic for many couples: raising financially responsible children. Your financial values and behaviors will significantly influence your children's relationship with money throughout their lives. Start financial education early with age-appropriate lessons. For young children, ages 3 to 5, introduce the concept of money and its purpose, distinguish between needs and wants. Use clear jars for saving, spending, and sharing for elementary-age children, ages 6 to 10. Provide a regular allowance tied to age-appropriate responsibilities. Help them set saving goals for desired items. Introduce basic budgeting concepts for preteens and teenagers, ages 11-17. Open a custodial bank account and teach banking. Basics: discuss opportunity cost and value comparison when shopping. Introduce the concept of investing and compound growth. Begin conversations about college costs and career paths for adult children, 18 plus. Guide them through student loan decisions and repayment strategies. Help them establish credit responsibly. Discuss retirement saving. From their first job, share your financial journey, including mistakes and lessons learned. Throughout these stages, model healthy financial behaviors. Children learn more from what you do than what you say. When they see you discussing money openly, making intentional spending decisions, and working together on financial goals, they internalize these patterns. Agree with your partner on financial messages and rules for children. Inconsistency creates confusion and undermines financial lessons. Discuss: how will allowances work in your family? What expenses will children be responsible for at different ages? How will you handle requests for toys, electronics, or activities? What financial information will you share with children about family finances? How will you approach college funding? Fully funded by parents, partial support, or student responsibility? These decisions reflect your values around money, work, and responsibility. There's no universally correct approach, but alignment between partners creates clarity for children. Now let's discuss financial planning for major family milestones. Throughout your life together, you'll face expenses like education funding, weddings, supporting adult children, and inheritance planning. For education funding, consider Y-29. College savings plans, which offer tax-advantaged growth for education. Expenses cover Dell education savings accounts for K-12 and college expenses UGMA, UTMA custodial accounts, which offer flexibility but may impact financial aid eligibility. Roth IRAs, which can serve dual purposes for retirement and education. The right strategy depends on your values, financial situation, and expectations around your children's responsibility. For education costs. For wedding expenses, whether for your own wedding or your children's. Start saving early in dedicated accounts. Set clear budget boundaries before planning begins. Distinguish between essential and optional expenses. Consider alternatives to traditional costly celebrations. For inheritance planning, discuss how to distribute assets fairly, which doesn't necessarily mean equally. Whether to transfer wealth during your lifetime or after death. How to prepare heirs to manage inherited assets responsibly. The values and legacy you want your wealth to represent. These conversations can be emotionally charged, reflecting deep values around fairness, responsibility, and family relationships. Approach them with sensitivity and openness to different perspectives. Let's now address financial management during challenging relationship periods. Even strong relationships experience difficult seasons due to external stressors, health issues, or interpersonal conflicts. During these times, financial management often suffers, potentially compounding other problems. To maintain financial stability during relationship challenges, Simplify your financial system temporarily. Automate essential payments and maintain minimum financial communication if more extensive discussions are difficult. Consider a financial ceasefire by pausing major financial decisions until the relationship stabilizes. Maintain transparency even if communication is strained. Continue sharing account access and financial information to prevent trust erosion. Seek professional help if financial conflicts are central to relationship difficulties. Financial therapists or counselors can provide structured support. If your relationship is heading towards separation or divorce, prioritize rational financial decision-making despite emotional turmoil. Document all assets, liabilities, and income before negotiations begin. Consult with financial and legal professionals individually. Consider mediation to reduce costs and conflict. Protect credit by separating joint accounts responsibly. Update estate planning documents promptly. While no one enters a relationship expecting it to end, preparing for this possibility protects both partners' financial well-being. On a more positive note, let's discuss financially navigating the retirement years together. As lifespans increase, many couples spend decades in retirement, making this a significant portion of your financial journey together. For early retirement planning, develop a withdrawal strategy that balances longevity risk with quality of life. Consider the tax implications of different account withdrawals plan for potentially decades of healthcare costs, including long-term care. Discuss housing transitions, when and if to downsize or relocate. Create a plan for how financial management responsibilities might shift if one partner experiences cognitive decline. These conversations aren't just financial. They involve deeply personal preferences about how you want to experience your later years together. As you accumulate wealth, philanthropy often becomes more important. Giving together can be deeply rewarding when aligned with shared values. Consider creating a formal giving plan. Identify causes that matter to both of you. Set annual giving budgets. Research organizations for effectiveness. Involve children in giving. Decisions to transmit philanthropic values. Explore impact investing that aligns investments with values. Some couples establish donor-advised funds or family foundations to formalize their giving and create a lasting legacy. Speaking of legacy, financial planning ultimately extends beyond your lifetimes. Together, consider what financial legacy you want to leave. Financial support for family members, charitable impact through planned gifts, values, and financial education transmitted to future generations, businesses or properties preserved for family or community benefit. These legacy discussions often reveal your deepest values and priorities, strengthening your connection as you align on the ultimate purpose of your financial journey together. In our final section, we'll summarize the key strategies that prevent money from destroying relationships and provide a framework for ongoing financial harmony. We'll also discuss resources for continuing your financial education together and systems for regular financial review as a couple. As we conclude our discussion on preventing money from destroying relationships, let's summarize the key strategies that create financial harmony for couples. The foundation of financial success together comes down to 5 essential practices. Open, regular communication about money. Understanding and respecting different money personalities. Creating systems that balance joint goals with individual autonomy. Aligning on core financial values and priorities. Working as a team to build wealth and security. Let's examine each of these in more depth to create a framework for ongoing financial harmony. First, communication remains the cornerstone of financial success as a couple. The most financially successful couples don't avoid money conversations. They embrace them as opportunities for connection and alignment. They create regular, structured times to discuss finances in a non-blaming environment. To maintain healthy financial communication, schedule monthly money meetings with a clear agenda. Begin with celebrations of financial wins, no matter how small. Review progress toward shared goals, address concerns without criticism, end with clear action steps for both partners. Consider creating a shared financial dashboard, whether digital or physical, that visualizes your progress toward goals. This creates a focal point for discussions and celebrates momentum. Second, understanding money personalities reduces judgment and conflict. Remember that different approaches to money aren't character flaws but reflect varied experiences, values, and psychological needs. Revisit your money personalities periodically, as they can evolve with age, income changes, or major life events. The saver might become more comfortable with spending as security increases, or the spender might develop more interest in saving as retirement approaches. Create space for each personality to express its strengths. Allow the saver to lead emergency, fund, and retirement planning. Let the spender research quality purchases and experiences that maximize value. Give the investor opportunities to research and present investment options. Support the avoider with simplified systems while encouraging greater engagement. Third, financial systems should balance partnership with autonomy. The most effective systems create transparency around shared goals while preserving individual freedom within agreed boundaries. Review your financial systems annually to ensure they still serve your needs. Are joint and individual account allocations still appropriate? Does your budgeting approach still reflect your priorities? Are your automated savings and investments aligned with current goals? Do both partners have appropriate access to financial information? Adjust systems as your income, expenses, and goals evolve. What worked early in your relationship may need refinement as your financial situation becomes more complex. Fourth, alignment on core financial values provides a foundation for decision-making. Values clarification isn't a one-time exercise but an ongoing conversation as you both grow and change. Periodically revisit questions like, what does financial security mean to each of us? How do we balance present enjoyment with future preparation? What role do we want money to play in our relationship with family members? What legacy do we want to create with our resources? These deeper conversations often prevent conflicts about specific financial decisions by establishing shared principles that guide choices. Finally, successful couples approach finances as a team sport where both partners contribute based on their strengths. They recognize that financial roles may shift over time due to interest, capacity, or life circumstances. To strengthen your financial teamwork, periodically rotate financial responsibilities to ensure both partners understand all aspects of your finances. Celebrate complementary strengths rather than expecting identical approaches. Create contingency plans for managing finances if one partner becomes unavailable. Invest in shared financial education through books, courses, or working with professionals. Now let's discuss how to continue your financial education together. Financial knowledge is constantly evolving with new products, tax laws, and economic conditions. Couples who learn together stay aligned and make better decisions. Consider these approaches to ongoing financial education. Read a financial book together, discussing one chapter weekly. Take an online course on a financial topic relevant to your current goals. Listen to financial podcasts during shared commutes or household activities. Attend workshops or webinars offered by financial institutions. Schedule annual meetings with financial professionals for education and review. Learning together ensures both partners develop financial confidence and reduces knowledge imbalances that can lead to power dynamics around money decisions. For specific resources, consider starting with The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel for understanding financial behavior. I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi for practical systems. Smart Couples. Finish Rich by David Bach for couple-specific strategies. The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins for investment fundamentals. Beyond these books, many online platforms offer courses on everything from budgeting to advanced investment strategies. Choose resources that match your current knowledge level and specific needs. Let's now establish a framework for regular financial reviews as a couple. While monthly money meetings address immediate concerns and short-term goals, comprehensive reviews ensure you're making progress on longer-term objectives. Consider this quarterly and annual review. Structure quarterly reviews, 1 to 2 hours. Net worth calculation and comparison to previous quarter progress toward annual financial goals. Budget adjustments based on upcoming expenses. Investment performance review. Annual reviews. Half day. Comprehensive. Net worth statement. tax planning for the upcoming year, insurance coverage evaluation, estate planning document review, goal setting for the coming year, retirement projection update. These structured reviews maintain financial awareness and provide opportunities to celebrate progress, which reinforces positive financial behaviors. For these reviews, create a shared document or spreadsheet where you track net worth over time, debt reduction, milestones, savings rate percentage, goal achievement, dates, investment performance versus benchmarks. Visual representations of this data can be particularly motivating, showing the tangible results of your financial discipline and teamwork. As we conclude, remember that financial management as a couple isn't just about numbers. It's about creating the life you want together. Every financial decision, from daily spending to retirement planning, reflects your values and priorities as individuals and as partners. The couples who most successfully navigate finances together recognize that money is a tool for creating their desired life, not an end in itself. They use money discussions not just to coordinate practical matters, but to better understand each other's hopes, fears, and dreams. By implementing the strategies we've discussed, from communication techniques to practical systems to wealth-building approaches, you're not just preventing money from destroying your relationship. You're using your financial journey as an opportunity to strengthen your partnership, build trust, and create a shared vision for the future. Let's review the most important takeaways. Money conflicts often reflect deeper values and needs. Address the underlying concerns, not just the financial symptoms. Regular, structured money conversations prevent problems from escalating. Create safe spaces for financial discussions. Respect different money personalities as complementary strengths, not character flaws. Create financial systems that balance transparency with appropriate autonomy. Approach financial challenges as a team, with shared goals but potentially different roles. Invest in financial education together to maintain knowledge balance and make informed decisions. Celebrate progress regularly to reinforce positive financial behaviors. Remember that financial management is ultimately about creating your desired life together, not just accumulating wealth. I encourage you to start implementing these strategies today. Begin with a conversation about your money personalities and values. Schedule your first formal money meeting. Create a simple shared financial dashboard. Take one small step toward better financial communication and management. Thank you for joining me for this discussion on preventing money from destroying your relationship. If you found this information valuable, please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel for more practical financial advice. Leave a comment below sharing which strategy you plan to implement first, or any questions you have about financial management as a couple. Remember, every couple faces financial challenges, but with open communication, mutual respect, and effective systems, you can use money as a tool to strengthen your relationship rather than destroy it. Here's to your financial and relational success.